The following presentation is brought to you by the Pride of ODU, the official NIL collective of Old Dominion Athletics. Be a monarchist. Join the Pride.
Thank you. Thank you so much. See you.
Yes, you get like a squirrel.
Mhm. Yep, awesome. Okay, so tonight's game was one where I felt like in the beginning we didn't have the spunk or the energy that I'm looking for. And I kept employing my players like, hey, you guys, we got to find it. Today's one of them games to where anything could go any way. And the last time we played Texas State at home, they got the better end of us. They won that game, and it was a game that it was a must-win situation for us, and it could have set us up nicely for regular season champs and on our petition for that. But here we are once again, deja vu. Same situation, and we give up a game that we clearly should have won. But tip your hat off to Texas State because they played hard. They were relentless in their attack of the rim. They got 38 points in the paint. They out-rebounded us by 2. They got 12 offensive rebounds. They played their game, and they're at their best when you allow them to play their game, attacking the rim, getting second and third opportunities at a shot. Then out of nowhere, they'll hit a timely 3. They hit one from half court. Half court. So when that shot went in, I told my players, I said, you guys, if you don't wake up, today can be one of those days. I played this game way too long not to recognize what I'm looking at. And what I'm looking at is a moment where success will favor the bold. So whichever team was bold in that moment to play their game and force the issue, they were going to come out and win. And that's what happened at Texas State.
Two questions, Coach. The first one is first and fourth quarters have been challenging this season with kind of slow starts and then slower ends. Today was one of those also. What do we have to do to kind of avoid?
So when you have these situations as a coach, you can kind of look at things and say, okay, how can I have some play or some stake in this game? And you can come in and you can say, oh, you know what? Let's change what we're doing the day before the game to see if that has any effect on the energy that they come out with. What are we doing in shoot around? Are we going too slow? Are we going too hard? I don't know. Then you can also look at the pregame warm up. You know, do we change the items of what we're doing to see if that can shift things? But I think the main thing, the common denominator, is the player. Where's your mindset? What have you done to get ready? As coaches, you give them routine because that's what all athletes love. They love routine and they can be very superstitious about it. So now once you have established their routine that's good for the team, the individual has to do their routine or their work by being mentally in the moment, preparing properly for what's to come, reviewing the information, making sure that you have the energy available to go out and perform.
The follow-up to that, you talked about kind of the mental side. With about 2 minutes and 48 seconds left, I have to read lips because my hearing's not good, but it looked like you said, look at me, to your players, and said, let's get back to the basics and win this game.
Yeah.
What were you trying to convey to them at that moment?
Tell them that we clearly have too many holes in everything that we're doing, and we're getting distracted by the things that don't matter. You can't have all these conversations in hindsight. We have to get back to base. What does the scout say? The scout says to do X, Y, and Z. Let's get back to the scout. We can't do nothing about what has occurred, but we can do everything about what's in front of us in that moment, being omnipresent. That's all that I was trying to get them to do in that moment.
Do you think there's a sense of complacency out there?
You know, I asked myself that question, and I looked at the players on the court. I looked at the ones on the bench. And it was just it was something in the air that I didn't understand. It was an energy that I was not familiar with. But we're going to have the proper conversations to try to figure it out. I know that some are dealing with some bumps and bruises, but it wasn't enough to keep them off the court or to alter how they play. Then others are dealing with cold and flu type symptoms because, you know, if teams are struggling with it and now we play each other, breathe and sweat on each other. And now you think your team is good, but now they're sick, you know, a week later. So we're dealing with that too. But that still shouldn't have us looking and playing like that with the result like this.
You were outscored 40-16, I believe, over about a 10-minute stretch. What happened?
We were turning the ball over and we were making bad decisions. You know, how many turnovers did we have?
23.
You had like 7 or 8 in the first half.
Yeah, it was 7
We
in the
had
first
8,
half.
I'm sorry.
You had 23.
I'm sorry, that's
Yeah.
points.
23 for the game. So it was the turnovers. The turnovers killed us. And I told them in the timeout, I said, you guys, the only reason why they're able to make a run is because we're turning the ball over. I felt Brenda Fontana was predicting all of her passes. She wasn't being aggressive in terms of looking at the basket and taking her shots. So these are things that are correctable. I'm disappointed, but we're going to take it back to the drawing board and bounce back like we normally do.
2 of their leading scorers combined for 23 points in that fourth quarter. Did you think about like shifting around the defense to like focus on them once they get on the run?
We needed to crowd the paint because our man-to-man defense just wasn't moving at the rate that I like to see it move. And they were able to turn the corner on us a few times to get good looks. So we shifted to the zone but the zone stopped moving for some reason. I don't know why people started, maybe some were playing zone, some were playing man. And that's what had our walls compromised within our zone defense. And those two were able to get it going for them.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you.
No, thank you so much.
Appreciate
Coach.
y'all.
Thanks, Coach.
y'all.
See you next time out.
Yes. Hey, quick, yes.